I live in Thousand Oaks, there are always fires. And
Yeah.
there was a fire behind the house that we moved into, and the Ventura County Fire Department, which is a joint sheriff's and fire unit, air unit, um, they were dropping water behind my house. And I went out there with my newfangled camera, with my newfangled big lens, and took some pictures. And I mean, they basically saved my neighborhood. And
Yeah.
I went over to where they're based out in Camarillo, and I blew one of them up into a poster, and I framed it, and I knocked on the door of the hangar, just literally knocked on the door. And they're like, I said, hey, this is for you guys for saving our neighbor. And they're like, who are you? And they had me come in, they gave me the dime tour, started
That's
talking to
cool.
them. And that's what I did. I said the same thing. I'm like, do you ever fly any guys in your helicopter? And they said, nah, not really. I mean, it's not really something we normally do, but what's your goal? And I said, I want to start working with these magazines. I want to do this professionally. And one of the pilots, who's retired now, said, hey, listen, you did us a favor by bringing us this amazing photo poster, framed it. I'm going to let you talk to our captain. And I went in there and I had a nice chat with him. Super cool guy. And literally he said the same thing. He's like, listen, we don't fly people in our helicopters. We can't, but we can get approval to do it if you're going to publicize our unit in a positive way, because everything helps. And the way he explained it to me, and I'm sure you've had this explained in your work, is not everybody understands what you do. And an air unit, which is a local county expense, is expensive. And what he explained to me, he said, when I go to the city or the county of Ventura and say, hey, we need I mean, at that point, they weren't even discussing a new helicopter, but they were like, needed new engines for their bells. And he said, so when I go to them and say, we need $500,000 next year to fund new engines, new rotor blades, and this new Garmin, blah, blah, blah. Again, I'm not the most technical with this stuff, but like they think as the captain of the air unit, of course you're going to say that. You want the best stuff for your people, but is it really that much, like that expensive? And that's a big chunk of change. Well, he said, as crazy as it sounds, if I take an article from a magazine that was written by someone outside of our field, independent, with just an unbiased view that just tells what we do in layman's terms, I can
Hmm.
put that in front of them and say, just read this. This explains our mission from somebody who came and embedded with us for a few days.
Yeah.
And it actually, I thought it was crazy, but he's like, it actually does help, because they think I'm trying to sell them. I'm not. But when you're talking about that kind of money, sometimes and that's where it goes back to what I said in the very beginning of this conversation, is like, if I can have a city council person or a county official read it and go, okay, I get what they do now and how important it is to the citizens of Ventura County, it makes more sense than him saying, I need this Garmin radio or this bell and whistle for the helicopter next year. It's a little tool in his tool belt.